April 7, 2022, DeRidder, Louisiana. A man named Tyler Derochowski picks up his phone and dials 911. He isn't screaming, he isn't crying, he sounds like a man reporting a fender bender. Tyler told the dispatcher he killed his girlfriend, Ashley Fish. He said it was an accident, a struggle for a gun that went horribly wrong. He said they wrestled on the floor and the weapon just went off. But as the police race to the scene, they expect to find a room trashed by a fight for survival. Instead, they walk into a master bathroom that is eerily perfect. A hairdryer on the counter, toothbrushes undisturbed, not a single bottle of shampoo knocked over. And then the wound. A contact shot behind the right ear, a jagged, star-shaped tear in the skin that only happens when the muzzle is pressed firmly against flesh. Today, we're dissecting every second of this case. We're looking at the impossible physics of a bathroom struggle and the nice guy persona that hid a monster. Tyler Derochowski didn't just slip, he executed a mother of 4 while her children were in the next room, and the science is about to prove it. To the world, Tyler Derochowski was the good guy. His parents described him as someone so gentle he would carry a spider outside rather than kill it. He was a Navy veteran, a trained medic, a man who moved from Oregon to Louisiana to be with Ashley Fish. Ashley was a mother of 4 daughters. She was navigating a difficult separation from her husband, Josh. She thought Tyler was her anchor, but by April 2022, that anchor was pulling her under. The romance was dead. Tyler was packing his truck to head back home. But Tyler wasn't the type to just leave. He wanted to burn the bridge behind him. Tyler began using his knowledge of her life as a weapon. He threatened to sabotage her custody of her children. 4:30 p.m., just 2 hours before the 911 call, Tyler makes his move. He calls Ashley's ex-husband, Josh Fish, and leaves a voicemail. It's the ultimate act of psychological warfare. He wants her to lose everything. The tension in that house wasn't just high, it was lethal. When Corporal Joshua Sanford entered the master bathroom, his detective brain started screaming. Tyler claimed they had a fight for their lives. He's 6'2" and 230 pounds. Ashley is 5'4" and 130 pounds. He claims she pulled the gun, they wrestled, and they went to the ground. But look at the bathroom. If 2 people, one of them a massive 230-pound man, are wrestling for a gun in a tiny bathroom, things break. But this room was pristine. The toiletries on the counter, not one was knocked over. The laundry basket, still standing. The jewelry holder, not even tilted. And then the body. Ashley was lying on her left side, and in her right hand she was still clutching her cell phone. Think about the physics. If Ashley pulled a gun on Tyler and she has her phone in her right hand, she's fighting him with her non-dominant left hand. Tyler's story isn't just unlikely, it's a physical lie. This is where the accident story meets the hammer of forensic science. Dr. Christopher Tape takes the stand. He describes the wound behind Ashley's right ear. It's what experts call a contact wound. This only happens when the muzzle of the gun is pressed hard against the skin. When the trigger is pulled, the explosive gases have nowhere to go. They blast into the wound, expand against the skull, and rip the skin outward into a jagged star pattern. The prosecution didn't just tell the jury it was an execution, they showed them. The district attorney literally laid down on the courtroom floor to demonstrate the trajectory. To get that bullet to enter behind the ear and exit the other side, Ashley had to be pinned down. Her head had to be forced against the tile. Tyler didn't wrestle for a gun. He held her down and pressed the steel against her skull. But perhaps the most damning evidence wasn't the blood, it was Tyler's training. Tyler was a trained Navy medic. He worked as an emergency room technician. He knew exactly how to save a life, yet when the detectives asked if he tried to help Ashley, His answer was chilling. "I couldn't think. I didn't know how to react." Wait, this is the same man who had the presence of mind to unload the gun, clear the chamber, and lock the bedroom door so the kids wouldn't see the body. He had the tactical focus to clear a crime scene, but forgot to check a pulse? Tyler thinks he has the situation under control. He thinks his nice guy persona will protect him, but the investigators are about to offer him a polygraph test, and Tyler's response will reveal exactly what he's hiding. Tyler Derochowski had a plan. He was a medic. He was a veteran. He knew how to talk to people in positions of authority. He thought if he just kept talking, if he was polite, cooperative, and helpful, he could steer the narrative. But as Detective Cooley and Detective Thompson sat across from him, they weren't looking at a grieving boyfriend. They were looking at a 230-pound man who claimed to have been in a fight for his life against a woman half his size, yet he didn't have a single scratch on his face, no bruised knuckles, no torn clothes. Tyler was about to walk into a psychological trap of his own making. Detective Cooley starts with the basics. Walk us through it, Tyler. Tyler's story is a whirlwind of motion. He says Ashley was upset because he threatened her custody of the kids. He says she grabbed her Smith & Wesson. He says they ended up in the bathroom, wrestling. "I was trying to grab her, trying to hold on to her," Tyler tells them. "We went to the ground. It felt like a fight for survival." But then he makes a fatal mistake in his description. He tells the detectives he was behind her, maybe in a chokehold thing, while she was trying to point the gun back at him. The problem, the bullet entered the right side of Ashley's head and exited the left. If Tyler is behind her in a chokehold and the gun is in her hand, she would have to be a contortionist to press the muzzle against her own right temple while being choked by a 230-pound man. The detectives don't interrupt. They let him weave a story that the autopsy has already proven impossible. This is the moment the room turns cold. Detective Cooley leans in. "Tyler, you've got medical experience, right? Navy, ER tech." Tyler nods. He's proud of his service. "So when the gun went off," Thompson continues, "did you check her? Did you try to stop the bleeding? Did you start CPR?" Tyler's response is a stuttering retreat. "I couldn't think. I didn't know how to react." Think about that. This is a man who tells the police he had the presence of mind to unload the magazine, clear the chamber, and secure the weapon on the vanity. He had the focus to lock the bedroom door to protect the children from the sight. He was tactical, he was efficient, but when it came to the woman he supposedly loved, he didn't even check if she was breathing. To an investigator, that isn't shock. That's the behavior of a man who knows exactly what he did and knows there is no life left to save. As the 2.5-hour interview nears its end, the detectives play their final card. It's a tool designed to see if a suspect truly believes their own lie. "We can offer you a polygraph, a lie detector. It's a chance to show us you're being truthful." Tyler's reaction isn't a "yes, please," it's a total collapse. "I don't think I'm going to stand a chance," Tyler says. He starts talking about his adrenaline. He says his heart rate is through the roof. He says he's scared of saying the wrong thing. He tells the detectives, "I feel like tonight is my fault. I feel like I murdered anyone. I feel like I slipped." He's trying to bridge the gap between an accident and murder. He's testing the waters to see if they'll buy a manslaughter plea. But the detectives aren't buying anything. They've already seen the star pattern on Ashley's head. They know that in forensics, there is no such thing as an accidental contact wound. Tyler is led away in handcuffs. He thinks he's said enough to keep the self-defense story alive. But what Tyler doesn't know is that while he was talking, tech experts were cracking open Ashley's cell phone, the one she was still holding when she died. They found a text message, a message sent just minutes before the shot, that proves Ashley wasn't pulling a gun, she was trying to make dinner for her kids. In the trial of State versus Derochowski, the prosecution knew that words wouldn't be enough to convict the spider savior. They had to show the jury the impossible. The DA laid down on the floor, recreating the exact position where Ashley Fish was found, lying on her left side, phone in her right hand. He showed the jury that for Tyler's struggle story to be true, Ashley would have to be a contortionist, to get a bullet to enter behind the right ear and travel right to left while being in a struggle with a man twice her size was a physical fantasy. The DA pointed the prop gun at his own head, showing that the only way to replicate the wound was for someone to be standing over her, pinning her down and pressing the muzzle into her skull. Tyler's defense was built on one word: accident. He claimed the gun just went off. But then came Amber Downs, a firearms expert from the Louisiana State Police Crime Lab. She brought the murder weapon with her. She explained to the jury that this Smith & Wesson wasn't a toy. It had 5 separate internal safety features. "Does this gun fire if you drop it?" the prosecutor asked. "No," she replied. "Does it fire if it gets kicked across the room or bumped during a struggle?" "No," she replied. To fire that gun, someone had to manually rack the slide to chamber a round. They had to grip it. They had to deliberately depress the trigger. The gun didn't slip. It functioned exactly as it was designed to, with lethal intent. The defense argued that Ashley was the aggressor, that she was freaking out and pulled the gun. But the most powerful witness in the room couldn't speak. It was her cell phone. Josh Fish, her ex-husband, took the stand. He testified about the texts he received that afternoon. While Tyler was busy leaving threatening voicemails at 4:32 p.m., Ashley was texting Josh at 5:60 p.m., just minutes before her death. She told him, "I'll have the girls call soon, trying to do dinner and stuff. I'm still working on my situation here." Does that sound like a woman about to pull a gun and start a fight for her life? She was doing dinner. She was focused on her daughters. The prosecution argued that Tyler walked into that bathroom while she was distracted, perhaps while she was looking at that very phone, and ended the situation himself. The jury deliberated. They looked at the photos of the undisturbed bathroom. They looked at the star pattern autopsy photos. They looked at the 230-pound man who didn't have a single scratch on his face. The verdict: guilty of second-degree murder. The judge sentenced Tyler Derochowski to the mandatory life in prison without the possibility of parole. But as the paperwork was filed, a strange anomaly occurred. The Uniform Commitment Order, the official document sending him to prison, didn't say life. It stated a term of 999 years. In 2025, the Court of Appeal of Louisiana reviewed the case. While they ordered the paperwork to be corrected back to life, they upheld the conviction. They ruled that the evidence of specific intent was overwhelming. Tyler Derochowski still maintains it was an accident. His parents still believe in his innocence, but in the eyes of the law and the eyes of science, the nice guy from Oregon committed the ultimate act of cowardice. He left 4 children without a mother. He left a crime scene he tried to sanitize with his medical knowledge, but he couldn't sanitize the star-shaped mark he left behind Ashley's ear. In the end, Tyler Derochowski didn't just slip, he chose, and now he has a lifetime, or 999 years, to think about the physics of the lie that failed him. Some people tell stories. Evidence tells the truth. Case closed. Tyler Derochowski thought he could use his training to stay one step ahead of the truth. He thought that by calling 911 himself, he could control the narrative of what happened in that bathroom. But as we've seen today, crime scenes don't have a nice guy bias. They only have the facts. A mother of 4 is gone. A family is shattered. And a man who claimed he was a savior will spend the rest of his life in barrels because he couldn't explain the impossible physics of a contact wound. It serves as a haunting reminder: the most dangerous person isn't always the one who shouts. Sometimes it's the one who stands over you in silence. But I want to hear from you. Do you think Tyler's refusal to take a polygraph was the ultimate tell, or was it just a man in shock as he claimed? And what do you make of that bizarre 999-year clerical error? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one. If you found this deep dive into forensic physics and the Derochowski case interesting, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We're going deeper into the cases where the evidence tells the stories that the suspects won't. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next investigation.